Today on adventuresofmel.com,
we're going to show you how to make the most delicious Mexican corn on the cob.
Okay, so we got our corn husked and all cleaned up. We're going to go ahead and get it on the grill. So we got the grill up and hot. You want this corn to get a little blackened, so it needs to cook under some pretty good heat here. So if your corn gets a little black too quick, you can take your corn and put it to the outside edge of your grill. If you're using a gas grill, you can turn off a burner and put the corn over the burner that's not on. So sometimes if it's a little too hot, it'll get a little black a little too quicker. But you put it to the edge, close up your grates a little bit, put your lid on and let it sit there for another 4 or 5 minutes. It'll just radiate heat in there like an oven and bring it up to get everything done like it needs to be, so that all the kernels aren't hard. So this is ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and pull it off. And then we're going to get it dressed up.
So now we're going to dress up our corn and make it into Mexican corn on the cob. We have our corn grilled and a little bit charred, ready to go. And then our other ingredients, we have butter, salted butter. We've got mayonnaise. We've got chili powder. Feta cheese, which you can also use cotija or cotija cheese. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I could not find that at our store, so we're using feta cheese. And then cilantro is an optional ingredient, but I'm adding it in because it's a staple for most Mexican foods. Dan doesn't like it, a lot of people don't like it, so this is optional. And then bacon, we're adding bacon to our Mexican corn on the cob. And then we also will give a squirt of lime juice at the end. So let's get started dressing up our corn. So we're going to start by buttering every ear of corn. Just give it a good layer of butter. Let that butter melt into the corn. Once we have our corn buttered, we're going to go ahead and just brush mayo on. Which I'm using a good 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of mayo. That's pretty generous. You don't have to use that much. And we're just going to brush it on. A good basting brush works really well for this. If you don't have a basting brush, you can scoop it on with a spoon and kind of rub it on with your fingers. However you have to do that. But a basting brush doesn't cost very much and it works really well. Works well for the butter too, if your butter is softened good. You want to do all of this while the corn is still hot, of course, so you don't have to warm it back up, and then it's ready to go. As soon as you're done, it's ready to eat. So now we're just gonna give each ear a sprinkle of chili powder. And just kind of sprinkle it on, however little or however much you want, just to give it a little bit of flavor. A little bit of extra kick, I guess, because it's gonna have plenty of flavor, but this gives it that kick, a little bit of spice. That one's gonna have a little bit of extra kick. I got a lot of chili powder on that one. Once the chili powder's on, then we're gonna go ahead and do just a little bit of crumbled feta. And I'm really just gonna kind of sprinkle this over the top. I'm not really gonna roll it from here on, because the cheese is just gonna end up falling off. And it's okay to make a mess. This is a very messy recipe. That's okay. It's gonna be delicious. You wanna have your cheese crumbled up as thin as possible. And be generous with it. The more the better. Now we're just gonna give it a little sprinkle of cilantro. This is optional. You don't have to do cilantro, but it's pretty much a staple, so we're gonna give it a try. And this cilantro actually came straight out of the garden. Okay, now we are going to do some bacon bits, some real bacon. Because, I mean, bacon makes everything better, right? Bacon makes everything better. Gonna add some lime juice. We're just gonna kind of squeeze it on. Just to give an extra kick and some more flavor to the corn. And there you have it. Mexican corn on the cob.